Hello everyone and welcome to part 3 of this Flexible Combined Honours Welcome talk. I'm Professor Marion Gibson. You should have watched the first 2 parts of this video already. If you haven't, please do go back and watch them. And you should have the PowerPoints open in front of you. I'm going to move on to the slide now that says part 3, Your Studies. You'll take 120 credits per year. This applies to all Exeter students and indeed all students on degree programmes in Britain. Those 120 credits can be made up of 2 subjects in equal combinations, so you'll take 60 credits of each subject, for example sports science and management, or they can be made up of subjects in slightly unequal proportions, so for example 75 credits of maths and 45 of French. So think about the combination year on year and make sure you keep it roughly equal as you go through your studies. You can, however, vary that proportion year on year, which is why this is Flexible Combined Honours. However, there are a number of rules for your studies that you do need to think about now at the start of your programme, so please do go on to the next slide. To start with, you must expect to take all of the core or compulsory modules in each of your subjects that are marked out for Flexible Combined Honours. These have been specifically chosen for Combined Honours students to build the basic knowledge of each subject, the foundational blocks that you'll need to progress. You'll need to take those modules both for their own core content and because they open up optional modules in the subject in later years. So please do expect to take all the compulsory modules. There are no exceptions. You shouldn't expect to take all of the optional modules in the subject either that are advertised year on year. Sometimes they will change. So if you see one now that's in 3rd year and you're only in 1st year, it may still be there when you're in 3rd year. But don't get too hung up on it. You might need to be a little flexible about the optional modules that you select. And please look at the wide and exciting variety of optional modules on offer. You will sometimes need to rank choices. Sometimes you won't get your first choice. Sometimes you'll get a second or third choice. You do need to be flexible to study Flexible Combined Honours. Please also don't expect to change any of your subjects after the beginning of Year 2. Up until the first couple of weeks of Year 2 of your studies, you can change one of your subjects if you want to. Come and see us about that. We'll need to check that there's room in the subject that you want to switch into, that admissions say you're appropriately qualified to take it, that you can take all of the compulsory modules in the subject. If all of those things are true, it may be possible to change one of your subjects, but you shouldn't expect it. And you shouldn't expect to study too much content outside of those key subjects that you chose when you came to us. Through UCAS, we will expect you to choose modules coded for those subjects. So for example, if you're studying politics at Streatham, you can expect to study modules which have a poll code. If you're studying politics at Penryn, you can expect them to have a POC code. And we will check your record to see that you are studying the basics of the subjects that you need. FCH does have a few basic rules as well. This is to ensure standards. It's to ensure that you are appropriately qualified in your subject, that you have the core foundational knowledge that you need, that we can say to any professional body or employer that you do know the stuff that you need to do within your subject. And you can see on the FCH website under the Studying and Current Students tabs, follow those links through, that down on the right hand side there's a box that says Rules. In a sense, nobody likes rules. Maybe you don't like rules either, but they are designed to help you with your studies and to keep you on track for the degree title that you want. It's really important to know what you're aiming for. So think ahead, look at the degree titles, look at the rules on the FCH website. Please look at the next slide as well. We do expect you to tell us if you've got problems or questions. We honestly are here to help you, and we really will do our best to do that if you just tell us what you need. Please read all our emails as well. We send you emails because we need to do so, not because we've got nothing better to do. You do need to read our emails, specifically those about module choice. Sometimes there are processes to go through and there are sign-offs that you need for particular module choices or subject changes. So please read our emails and follow the guidelines that we send you in them. It's really helpful as an FCH student if you research the core and the optional module choices that you have on the website. It helps you to know what you're aiming for, as I said before, and it helps you to know how to get it, how to get there. You must expect to contact multiple staff across the university to ask them about modules. That can include module conveners, personal tutors, me as director, the deputy director for your campus or campuses. You can expect to have chats with lots of different academics and administrators, so please expect that process. FCH is quite a complicated programme because it's unique, it's bespoke. into your programme. So you need to take responsibility for gluing it together, for finding the ways through your subjects and making it work for you. And that is a wonderful life skill. The rest of your life will look like that. That's what employment looks like. That's what getting what you want looks like beyond university. Practice the skills now, network, meet the right people, ask the right questions, read the right material, do the right research, and you will really flourish as a flexible combined honours student. If you go on to the next slide, you can see some of the further expectations that we do have of you as a student here at Exeter. We do expect you to attend or to engage with online your classes. So video lectures like the one I'm giving now, library sessions, various kinds of inductions, field trip classes, labs, we expect you to go to all of those. Please do so. Again, they'll really help you. They are there to provide the subject basics for you and to give you the information that you need to grow and to learn. You should also, and this is the next slide, learn about how to submit your work. There are quite complex administrative systems for doing that. The work will be submitted online. It will often come through systems that you haven't heard of before, like ELE, the Exeter Learning Environment, or BART. You'll need to get familiar with systems like Turnitin if your department uses those. Please research in advance how to submit your work and give it a practice go if you're able to do that. You do need to think ahead of deadlines, ahead of the time when you need to be writing and submitting your work in order to get it right. And you can find that information here and by talking to your module conveners. Finally, please learn about academic honesty and plagiarism. We ask all Exeter students to do this, whatever campus they're studying at, whatever subject they're studying. Please learn how to acknowledge sources, how not to borrow other people's work and not acknowledge it properly, how to be a good and honest student and perhaps later a good and honest academic. There's a course online that you can take to show you how to do referencing properly, to make sure that you know what you're doing and you don't get yourself into a pickle. If you've got any questions, please feel free to follow up on this talk. You can email the info points that I've talked about in the earlier section of the talk. You can email us about module choice questions. You can email me for academic study advice or one of the deputy directors who were introduced in the first section of the talk. We're really keen to help. Please ask us for what you need. Please feel very, very welcome to Exeter, whether you're studying at Streatham, St Luke's or Penryn. Welcome to Flexible Combined Honours. We're really pleased to have you here, and I do mean that. See you soon.